So I just got to New York City. I am heading to Aladdin to do my wardrobe haul. Today I am doing a shoe call, which means I'm going to check all the shoes and see if anything needs to go out for repair what I can at the theater. I was actually not supposed to be in the city this week. We had planned a vacation with some other people and something fell through. We basically all got refundable tickets because the other people on the trip have very demanding work schedules and I never know when I'm gonna be in another show. So we were like, okay, we're gonna plan this trip as long as we can get refundable plane tickets. And it's a good thing we did because some of us were not able to go on the trip. So we just like canceled the whole thing, got our money back. And I was able to text my boss and I said my trip was canceled. And if you need me to come in and do any day work, I am available. And she had a spot for me. So I am back to my shoe call. Which is great. I love working at Aladdin. So I'm happy to be here. There's always time to vacation another time. So I never really know what I'm walking into until I get to the theater. The way shoe repairs work is like if something needs to go out, after the show from the night before, the dresser will write it up on the repair sheet, and then who's ever on shoes the next day checks the repair sheet and sees if anything has to go out. So I will do that once I sign in. I'll check the blue bag and the repair sheet, see what we have for today. I do hope that there are repairs that need to go out because it is a lovely day. It's actually not too hot. It's a little breezy, a little humid, but it's not raining. I don't know if it will rain. It very well might. It's been raining a lot this summer. I love walking down 8th Avenue because there's always so many theater people. Pearl Studios is on 8th Avenue, and you always see like actors coming in and out of the audition building. They usually have their binders and headshots, so it's a nice reminder of where we are. I just passed somebody on a phone call. He was talking about the sides that he memorized, so he clearly was coming from an audition, and yeah, it's a great atmosphere. Okay, so I'm at the theater. There are repairs that have to go out to Rostell's on 54th. So I'm gonna quickly check the principal shoes first. That's the first thing I do when I get to the theater, is I check the principals because they have less shoes than the ensembles. So if something needs to go out for repair, it like has to come back that night. Whereas it's important that the ensemble shoes come back as well, but they have more shoes. So in the event of an emergency, there's enough shoes. But there's also a put-in rehearsal today. A couple actors are being put in, so I don't think it's not full dress, but it's probably going to be a pretty hectic day with actors running around the theater and stuff, which is great. But I'm also glad I'm gonna be out on the town because it gets a bit crowded where all the costumes are, and you know, everyone's trying to do their job. I'm gonna head out to the shoe shop. When rubber gets like this is a major tripping hazard. So we're just gonna go replace this whole thing because, as you can see, there's some bald spots here and there needs to be friction. Okay, we don't need those until 8/18. Great. Great. All right, I'm gonna put these back. So most of the time, if it's just rubber being replaced, I take the shoes to Rostell's on 54th. But these shoes actually need something fixed like within the structure of the heel. So I'm gonna take them to the shoemaker, which is T.O. Day in Times Square. They make a lot of the men's shoes at Aladdin. So if there's a major repair where the shoe needs surgery, I just take it right to the shoemaker. And I know Rostell could do it as well, but because T.O. Day makes the shoes, just, you know, bring it back to its origins. I already checked all the principal shoes. The principals, by the way, are like the leads in the show. So the Genie, Aladdin, Jasmine, the sidekicks, Jafar, Iago. So I checked all the shoes to make sure there were no major repairs that needed to go out. And then when I come back to the theater, I will check the ensemble shoes and bring up any shoes that need to be glued. Those are usually the repairs that I can do myself at the theater. The larger repairs always go out at the beginning of the call. But these shoes that I'm dropping off now will not be needed to be picked up until, I think, Tuesday. So they can stay there a couple days. Haven't been there in a hot minute. Actually, I was at the Equity Center, I think in March. I attempted to go get seen at an Equity audition, and I hadn't been in the Equity Center in years. Did not get seen that day. I actually signed up for the audition, went to work, and then came back, and I still didn't get seen. Granted, I'm not Equity, I'm EMC, but that means nothing nowadays because the EMC program is non-existent. I think I could join Equity though, but I'm not ready to do that. So I will obviously not be getting seen at Equity auditions unless, well, I guess, yeah, so I don't really know how that's working if you want to get seen as a non-ec. I really don't know. I haven't auditioned in New York in a minute. I've been singing and dancing though, so I'm doing other things. I'm not 100% sure they know I'm here, so I might have to go in the back there. I don't want to bother anyone, but I gotta get these shoes done. Julie, we love you. Now, I avoid the elevator at all costs because in this building, so people have been known to get stuck on the elevator, but there's usually people eating lunch in the stairwell, so I feel bad, but I'm not risking it. I don't like elevators if I don't have to. And then we have the old mailbox. Hello. So, all right, back to the theater. I love shoemaking. I've kind of wanted to dip my toe in shoemaking myself. I did ask before if they take apprentices at TOJ, but I don't think they do. It would be quite the endeavor, and I'm not totally closed off to it. But I feel like maybe I'll attempt to, I don't know, teach myself through YouTube and see where that leads. And, you know, maybe in my 50s or something, become a cobbler. I love the idea of learning new skills, changing it up every couple years with how you spend your time or what you're learning. But I have so many hobbies and ideas and things that I want to learn. But there's only so many hours in a day, and there's so many things that need consistency and practice. And if you're trying to get good at a hobby or a talent or a skill, you often have to work on that every day. So the idea of becoming a cobbler anytime soon is just, you know, I can't do it. Not if I'm trying to be an opera singer and a dancer and, you know, an actor and seamstress. And there's just too many things going on. There's too many hobbies. There's so much creativity to get through. And not enough hours in a day. There's only so many creative endeavors that I can do. If you try to cram everything in, by the end of the day, you're so exhausted, and I don't know, I can't do like multiple creative things in one day well. Something ends up suffering. So try to pick one or two and stick with that. Every couple months I have like a new focus that I am working towards creatively as an artist. And right now it's kind of been opera and drawing. I haven't done a ton of drawing, but a couple months ago I was teaching myself to get better at reading music, and I need to get back on that. I have all these ideas for creative projects when it comes to like illustration and drawing, but I feel a little bit stunted because I'm not where I would like to be with painting and drawing. Not that I can't learn. And not that it needs to be perfect. Like, I'm not trying to do hyper-realism or anything. I would like to do more like children's book illustrations, which I've dabbled in a wee bit. I just want to have a strategy so that I'm going into my drawing lessons, you know, knowing like what to do. Because sometimes I get to the paper and I'm just like, I don't know where to start, and like a blank page scares me, and yet there's all this creative stuff in my head that I'm like, I could make this into a beautiful painting, a nice children's book. So still figuring out that. I'm getting closer to how I want to go about that. But you know, there's only so many hours in a day, and you can't really force creativity and make yourself want to be. I have tried so many times to push myself even when I'm exhausted, which sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes that works and it's great, but other times you end up just doing it for the sake of saying that you did it. And I prefer to have a fresh mind and do it well instead of just, well, I was, creative today. So that's the line I'm constantly walking. Just like, do I push myself or do I just wait for the perfect moment and the creative juices to start flowing naturally? I don't know. I'm getting better at the discernment of that, but it's still a struggle sometimes. When it's 10 o'clock at night and I haven't hit my creative quota, I start freaking out. But learning how to rest and see rest as productivity as well. So when I'm checking shoes, I'm checking to make sure that this part is not like rolling up. The quick rig is secure, the strap isn't breaking, and the heels are good as well. This shoe is like brand new, so it's in great condition. Okay, so now that I collected all the shoes, we're gonna start gluing. So I'm gonna grab, this is the glue we use, Barge. It's very strong and requires all sorts of safety measures. So we have this great hood, which I turn this on, but I have to turn off the AC first because we don't want to blow a fuse. Now, the hood is pretty good on its own, but during the summertime, I do wear this mask, which is just an old COVID mask, and then I will open the window. During the winter, when I can't have the window open, I'll be wearing this, which is a little more intense. So, I mean, this thing does a good enough job, but just for extra safety measures. Since I'm a bit on the crunchy side, I like to have all the toxic fumes not in my respiratory system. Get to see the city a little bit. So I'm gonna start gluing, and I usually like to have a little pile of shoes in here, and I just work my way like 4 at a time. So our first specimen is going to be these beautiful brand new pair of marketplace boots. And these are obviously in great condition because they're so new, but a lot of times, especially with the new boots, the rubber ends up getting peeled off. You can see right here, this is a major tripping hazard and could be quite dangerous for an actor. So I'm just gluing the rubber back to the bottom of the shoe. You want to let the glue set for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then it gets like tacky, and then you just like mush it closed. Aladdin has a shoe call after pretty much every show. There's so much dancing in this show that there's a lot of wear and tear on the shoes, and things do get loose and the rubber comes up, and an unsteady shoe is a major safety hazard for a dancer. So safety is obviously number one priority. Gluing the rubber soles down, making sure the heels aren't loose, tightening the taps with a screwdriver. The shoes themselves are built very well, so they last a very long time, and the more an actor wears them, the more broken in they get, the more comfortable they become. I try to divide the shoes into 2 baskets when I'm collecting them, stage right and stage left, just because it makes it a lot easier when I'm putting them away. I think in total I check over 105 pairs of shoes. Cool thing about LaDuca shoes is the weight distribution is very well thought out. The center of gravity is directly over the heel. The heel kind of sits a little center, like underneath the heel, and it provides tons of stability. Like this is a nice wide base, so you're not going anywhere in these. And then this is called a quick rig. So you have your strap and then the little hook, and it sits like this. Much easier than having to take care of the whole buckle every time you want to get in and out of a shoe. I do love this part of my call because it's very relaxing and I feel like I'm doing arts and crafts. While I've been here, I got a call back for something I submitted to last night on Actors Access, so I kind of want to check that out at some point. They did mention that they're accepting on a rolling basis, so I do need to look at the material and probably film that tonight. It's just crazy to me how quickly film auditions need to be sent in. It's like the turnaround time is so quick. Whereas theater, it's like you'll hear about an audition maybe a month ahead of time. And then, or if it's like online and they give you material to do, you usually have at least a week to work on everything and submit your tapes. But with film, sometimes they want it within, I don't know, 24 to 36 hours. Or day of even, like, you know, if they're accepting on a rolling basis, that means I really don't have much time at all, so. If I care that much. We'll see, I'll take a look at the role, see if this is something I wanna spend time doing, but. So everything is glued and painted. I feel good about everything being safe and ready for the actors tonight. I put all the shoes away, put the principal shoes away. I don't have to pick anything up at a shoe repair shop. So now I am getting ready to pack everything up and go home. I'm gonna do my audition. It doesn't seem that complicated. I actually don't have to memorize any lines. I just have to like improv something. So I'll get that taken care of. So I actually need a can of soda for this callback. So I'm gonna see if I can pick that up on the way home. I'm sure I can at Penn Station, but. And then we will get the train and go home. Back at the car, train ride went well. There were no major hiccups, got the goods. So now I'm gonna head home, nail this audition, send it in, see what happens. I have high hopes for this audition. I think I am involving my husband a little bit in it. So he seemed willing. So we'll see if he's still willing when I get home. He's a good sport, but he doesn't really like to act. So he's not an actor, but we'll make an actor out of him yet. So I realized I never finished the vlog, and it's like 11 o'clock at night now, so there's really nothing to say. I got home, my husband helped me with the audition. He was very willing to be a part of it, so grateful for that. Sent that in, we had some pizza, I edited a video, and that was kind of my night. Nothing too exciting or crazy. We'll update on the audition if I get the part. I think it's time for bed. I actually don't have to work tomorrow because I was supposed to be on vacation. So I had work today, but there's nothing for me to do tomorrow. Also, sorry if you saw my mannequin in the window reflection. I'm currently in my sewing room / guest room, and yeah, she lives in here, so just wanted to clarify. It can be a little off-putting. Okay, thanks for watching, bye.